Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. So if you caught my most recent video, or it might be my most recent video, I guess we'll find out, doing my Sephora VIB Rouge sale, then you will have been expecting this video for a little while. Today we are going to be trying out a brand new eyeshadow palette. It is brand new to me. It is fairly new to the makeup community. I think that this was like their spring release. We are talking about the Melt Cosmetics Mary Jane palette. Now this is absolutely beautiful, beautiful outside packaging. I'm so excited about this palette. I love Melt Cosmetics. I just think their quality of shadows is so fantastic. If you've never tried them before, you definitely should. And if you watched that video, you will know I never even took it out of the box because I wanted to save it for here and now. I've already got the rest of my makeup done all over my face. I am wearing my MAC Painterly Paint Pot eyeshadow primer, so we've got that ready to go. So we are going to unbox this, we are going to swatch this, and then we are going to play with it on the eyes and just see how we feel about it. So coming out of the box, oh my goodness, this is stunning. Okay, so it's got like a bunch of like smoke kind of, you can kind of see more on the back what it's really supposed to be on the front. It kind of looks like feathered and almost fluffy. But what's really cool is in the letters, which are raised, and they're kind of like those studded, like, do you remember those like studded necklaces and bracelets you could get in like the early 2000s that were kind of like that punk vibe? Kind of reminds me of that, but the glitter that's in it actually, and I'm hoping you guys can maybe see, yeah, it moves around. That's really, really pretty. So packaging, 10 out of 10, absolutely gorgeous. Now, for spring, a lot of makeup companies like to launch those more like pastel-y colors. They're nice like pinks, like purples, all of those sort of things. They went a completely different way. This is a neutral palette, which may be like, that's kind of boring for spring, but also I really like neutrals as of late. I think that they're a really good staple to have, and I think that it's a really, really good building point to play with a lot of the more fun colors, to play with a lot of the more out there shadows, and Melt Cosmetics in particular has put out a ton of really, really fun, colorful palettes, so it's nice to see them putting out a really, really neutral palette for once. I say that like I've been like involved in this company for forever and know all their products. I don't. I'm just thinking that as of late, I've seen a lot of their fun like green or yellow more tone palettes. They've had some reds and oranges in some. They put out that blue one, purples, all that sort of thing. So it is really exciting to see this one. So let us open it up, shall we? Brrr. Oh my goodness. She's beautiful. Ah. This kind of gives me vibes, kind of like the Natasha Denona Biba palette. That's an all matte palette. A little bit of like the Jeffree Star cremated palette. Is that his like all neutral one that got like a lot of flack because of when it came out and it was just like improper timing? But this is really, really pretty. It's got like a good mix of like more cool tone neutrals, which is different for me. I don't normally wear a lot of cool tones, but really excited. It's got 4 mattes and 6 shimmers, which is nice. And the mattes are in a good shade range to definitely start building a look and then lay a shimmer on top. They do have like, I'm gonna just get really close and show you guys this, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody. They do have like almost like more crystallized versions of little marijuana leaves in them. Now, if you guys are not Canadian, then maybe you don't know, but marijuana is legal here, and Mary Jane or Mary J is just like another slang term for marijuana, so I'm guessing that that's where they're getting the inspiration for this. They seem to do a lot of palettes that have to do with that. For example, I do have the Smoke Sessions palette, which is very, very, very marijuana based, and I also just picked up the 420 palette, which is again a big, big like weed smoking holiday. So hopefully that doesn't offend anybody. You know, if you don't smoke weed, that's fine. It is just makeup. I don't think that there's any like actual weed in here. No, there isn't, although that would be kind of cool. And I know NYX put out a whole range of like sativa based products, but let's get right into this. So we are going to do some swatches down our arm. Check out, sorry about this giant bruise, don't even know where that came from. Check out what the formula is like. I've really enjoyed, I was gonna say milk, this is not milk makeup. I've really enjoyed the Melt formula in the past, so I'm really excited to try this out. And neutral palettes are always nice to have. Like I said, you can always add a pop of color later if you want to. So starting from, I don't know, wherever. Let's just start from here. So this first shade is Mary Jane. It's our first, oh, okay, well. Okay, it's the first shimmer of the palette. I do seem to recall something about sometimes these shadows have like a weird coating on the top that means that they don't come off as beautiful, because it was difficult for me to get some color payoff here. But this is like a really, really pretty, like icy gold sort of champagne shimmer color. It is really pretty, it's really reflective, but I'll be honest, it was a little bit disappointing just grabbing the swatch of it. No big deal. As I said, it might perform better on the eyes or once you scrape that top layer off, because there are some makeup products that are like that. The next color is Gaspar or Gaspar. It is our first matte shadow. Yeah, and these are just the bomb. Like, Melt puts out some of the best matte shadows you will ever try in your whole life. And this is quite an interesting color. It's like a greeny brown sort of a tone, really, really pigmented, very unique color. I don't have a lot of browns that have that kind of like an undertone to them where they're almost, like I said, for some reason I'm seeing like a greenish kind of undertone or a yellow undertone to that brown. Really pretty. Next shade is Sweet Lucy. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a really soft shimmer. And it came off really chunky because I kind of anticipated it would be more like Mary Jane, and it was not. So I got a lot of product here. So this should be a, oh my god, can you guys see the chunk of product that I have here? Hold on, we have to do something about this. Okay, so this is the flakes that I just got off of that. Just be really careful when you're using these because they are going to flake like that, but beautiful, beautiful shade. And that was my fault because I was anticipating it to be as difficult to work with as was the first shade, and it was not at all, but it was a really, really pretty color. Definitely kind of more of like a bronzy gold sort of a shade to it. Really, really pretty. Next shade is Bamba or Bamba. This is kind of like a slate gray shimmer, if you know what I mean. It's got like a little bit of that silver to it, but really, really pretty. Oh, that color is just stunning. I think that that would look so, so pretty in any kind of like a smoky eye look, even if you were doing like a more gray toned or black toned smoky eye, less so like a brown smoky eye. That would just be absolutely stunning. And seeing these three colors, it really makes me disappointed about this first one. I'm just going to try one more time. No, it made it no better. Maybe this is just supposed to be like a sheer kind of a topper. I'm not too sure. Next color is Sinsemilla or Sinsemilla. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it. It's this beautiful, beautiful matte, dark, chocolatey brown. I feel like every neutral palette needs a dark chocolate brown just like this. So, so pretty. And I didn't pick a lot of it up, which is why it's not like going on for miles on my arm, because I was trying to be a little sparing with the product after what I did with this shade. Hello. But really, really stunning color. Really good staples in here. So we are into the second half of the palette. This color is Santa Maria. It's another kind of more gray toned brown. Hoping it's not too similar. Kind of. It's more browny than this one. Like, it's got more of like a rusty kind of a color to it. But they are sort of similar. A lot of times in these palettes you see 2 or 3 colors together that like you're like, you could have probably strayed a little bit more in the color family, but really, really pretty. This next matte, oh my god, it's so soft, is in Rubia. This is like your typical just like milk chocolatey brown, whereas like the other brown is like a dark chocolate brown. This is so, so gorgeous. Definitely some flakiness, but again, I can never judge really how flaky an eyeshadow is actually going to be when you're swatching on your arm, because when you're swatching on your arm, you're picking up, I thought I dragged it all down below, that's just that ugly bruise blending in. When you pick it up on your fingers, you're obviously getting a ton more, and it's not having a chance to get tapped off or flaked off like it would on a brush. So you can't really judge, but colors so far are looking absolutely gorgeous. This next color is in Beau. It's another really, really pretty shimmer. Their shimmer formula is fantastic as well. Their mattes are just standout, but I am just so, so in love with their shimmers as well. I think they're beautiful. I think I'm seeing a lot here that would go really well together. And what I like is, even though they're all neutrals, there's so many ways you could go. You could go with a more cool toned kind of like grayish sort of a neutral look, or you could do something with more of the actual true browns and then a little bit of that gold in it to bring out some goldenness. Absolutely beautiful. This is the second last color and the last matte color in this palette. This is Mari. This is sort of like your taupey, kind of light beigey brown. This is definitely like a crease sort of color, a really good deep, like not deep color, but like deep in the crease builder kind of color. Really, really pretty. I think that's like that kind of staple neutral crease builder. I've had MAC shades like that. What's the one I'm trying to think of? soft brown, I think is the shade in MAC formula, if I'm correct, is kind of similar to that. It's just that really, really like non-offensive, just like mellow kind of brown that like really will help any other shadows you put. Like as a standalone, it's nothing special, but like as a background color, it really does a lot to enhance a makeup look, which we all need those kind of shadows. And the last color in here is Cali. This is a kind of more white gold champagne-y color, but it's very, very similar to that first one. And it's more of a topper as well. Or how close are they to each other? Let's kind of swatch those two side by side. I just sort of want to see how similar. Okay, so this is the two. So this one is certainly a little bit more yellow gold put next to this one, which almost looks more like silver or white gold. Really pretty. Really excited to play with them. Don't know where we're gonna go. We're gonna try and use as much as we can just to do a really, really nice, fun, mellow look. Here's a look at the colors again. Next time you see me, we will be applying some makeup. Alrighty, also I didn't mention it, but if you are, if you knew this video was coming, it's because you already watched the video that's already up, so you already know all of the makeup that's on my face. But if you're interested, I will also link the video where I kind of tried on a bunch of products, just in case you're interested in anything like the lipstick or the blushes or anything like that, because this blush is doing a lot right now and I'm really enjoying it. So let's just get straight into this. The first color I'm going to pick up on kind of like a bigger, fluffier style brush is that Mari color. It's exactly like I said, I just think that that is the perfect base kind of a shade for any sort of a neutral look. And I do like that this palette does have a nice mirror in it, so I can just use that. Again, that pigment just right off the bat, really, really gorgeous. This is that kind of, what is that? Oh, I've got like a little brush hair there. This is just like that kind of a shadow that would work really in any kind of a look if you were doing something a lot more dark and dramatic, if you were looking for sort of something to lay some more fun colors on, some reds, even some blues and yellows and definitely greens would build really, really nicely off of this kind of a color. And if you're just looking for something really simple and a way just to define your eyes a little bit more, I think that this color in and of itself on its own, just like this, with like a really nice mascara, also gives a really nice depth to the eye. And obviously it's really quick. It's a one shadow kind of a look. And that's just maybe you're going for, you know, more of a bold lip kind of a look and you want just a more subtle eye look. I think that these kind of looks in and of themselves, or even if you just take the same bronzer that you put on your face and do kind of the same technique, just really work it into the socket, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you can build some really, really nice depth, make your eyes look like stand out a lot more, look a lot bigger. I think it's a really, really good alternative. I can't speak. I always go to say like alternate or alternative to, you know, doing a full-on eye look all the time, because sometimes we just don't have time for that. The next color I'm going to take is the color Rubia, which is this color right here. I'm kind of starting in the mattes. Just picking it on, it's like a wide brush, but it's a little bit denser just because I'm going to put it a little deeper in the crease and also kind of more on the lid as well, not going all the way into my inner corner. I am starting with a lot of the matte shadows. That's just kind of where my comfort zone is. Just in terms of shadow application, I do like to play with shimmers, but I tend not to use them so much as base colors or, you know, in the crease or anything like that, because I find they flake off. They don't really always do what I want them to do. I am just going to take, if I have one, a nice clean fluffy brush, and I'm just going to use that to sort of blend them, because for whatever reason that second color kind of went on a little bit more patchy, which I wasn't expecting based off how well the first one went on. But it's still, again, another really, really nice kind of depth color. So if you did have a deeper skin tone or maybe even a deeper color eye and you were looking for a deeper sort of a shade to use, that might be a really nice alternative to the Mari shade, just because it is just that slight littlest bit darker without being anything too crazy. Now I am actually going to take a little bit of that color on the same brush. No, not on the same brush, on a slightly smaller brush, but again, not a dense brush, kind of a fluffy brush. And I'm just going to put that on the tip, and I'm going to sort of smoke it out on my lower lash line as well, just to kind of combine the upper and the lower. Not going all the way in, more like, what is that, like halfway, I'd say. Again, it's going to really, really make your eyes stand out. really, really pretty just like that. So let's get into some of these shimmers. Like I said, I don't normally put shimmers in my crease, and I do want to play with that really dark, dark chocolate brown, but that's kind of going to be like a last color. I just sort of want to see how some of these shimmers lay as crease colors. So let's dig into Bow. Bow is that really, really like mellow kind of shimmer. I like to see how they apply with a brush as well, because normally I put shimmers on with my finger. That is really pretty. I'm actually gonna get closer when I do the other eye because this is just doing amazing, amazing things. So I literally picked up the smallest amount. I'm gonna get nice and close just so hopefully you guys can see the shimmer and the glitter and just how nice this is blending out. I'll show you guys here as well. I think it's really pretty. And like I said, it's going on really well with the brush, and because I only took such a light amount, I'm not seeing a ton of fallout from it, which is also really, really nice and very rare for shimmers, because a lot of shimmers, if you put them on, especially putting them on with a brush, because brushes flake a little bit more, and I did tap it off, but if you don't, you can get a lot of that fallout underneath your eye, and I really didn't find I had any with that. Let's dig into that really, really dark, dark brown color, that Sinsemilla color. You know what, I wanted a bit of a denser brush. It's like I can see the brush I want to use. Unfortunately, it's got like purple eyeshadow on it, so hopefully that won't affect anything. I was going to use like a fluffy brush, but I do kind of want a more concentrated amount of this. And because it is such a dark color, I just want to have a bit more control over its placement. I don't want it to overwhelm the entirety of the look. So I'm kind of putting it like almost in a little V on the outer corner, and then with small circular motions I'm kind of just buffing that V out, so it's kind of going down to the lash line, up to the crease, out in that outer corner without really taking over the whole of that look. So again, kind of along the lash line, up in the crease, and then just in small circular motions blending out the two together. And remember, if you're not liking the way it's blending, I find that this is just a little dark, a little harsh, you can always go back to taking like a really clean, big, fluffy brush and just kind of work it a little bit more, blend out some of those rougher edges, get some of that color transition a lot smoother, and it will always work out really, really well. I'm actually going to just take a tiny, tiny bit of that shade as well, just kind of in the outer corners there. So now that I've got the base of this done and we've played with a lot of the matte shades, I want to go in with something on the lid. Now I'm actually not going to be using either of those gray toned shimmers just because I think we do have a bit of a warmer kind of a look going. So we're going to try Sweet Lucy. This is the one that like broke up on me like crazy. Now this one I'm going to use kind of on the outer corner, outer portion of the lid to about 2/3 in. I'm not going all the way in because I will be using hopefully one of those golds. So this is a pretty color. I don't know, it's just fine. It's definitely not doing as much for me as I wanted. Like, I'm not putting a ton on. I just want a little bit because I'm really liking the way that this is looking. It's a very mellow, very everyday kind of a natural look. Now, in terms of the gold shimmers, I'm gonna go in with Cali. I just think I want a little bit more of that white kind of a gold look as opposed to like a yellow sort of a gold. Now, I think that this white gold would look really, really pretty matched with either Santa Maria or Bomba, which are those more gray tone browns. I just think that because they all have that coolness to them, it would just make a really, really pretty look. So that is basically it. I am going to put on, and this is kind of like a little bonus thing, I am going to try one of my NARS Power Matte. These aren't Power Matte, why do I keep saying that? High Pigment Long Wear eyeliners, because I did just get these. I showed you guys them in that haul video, but I haven't had a chance to try them yet. And I do just want to see how they compare to, say, my Urban Decay ones, just sort of see. So I got a really nice dark green shade, so I'm actually going to use that. I also did get a, this is the one thing I hate about these and love about these, they're so hard to get the lids off. You kind of have to like twist it off. It's just a little bit more controlled, and I find that sometimes if you get those kind, then you try and pull them off, you're going to end up smearing the end. So I did get a brown as well, but I just think that this is just the perfect way to add a bit of color. So I'm going to just take that kind of along my lower lash line. So it is a very, very deep green. So it's not going to, just using my finger to smudge it out a bit. It's not going to show an overwhelming amount of green. It's not going to take away from the neutrality of this look, but it's just going to give that little bit of an extra something to the look. Now, of course, you could go in with a much, much darker sort of a shade. That would be really pretty as well. Now, I was originally going to use a black eyeliner, but I actually think I'm leaning more towards using my KVD Mad Max Brown liner just to stick to sort of those neutral tones. But I don't have it out here, so we're gonna go with the black. Today I'm going to be using my Brush Black 24-hour liner from MAC. This particular one I picked up in the Cherry Blossom collection, and I used this for the first time the other day, and I forgot how much I love MAC eyeliners because I haven't used one in a while. I've been using every other brand under the sun because for a long time all I used was MAC. So then I went through a phase of like, don't use MAC. And I don't know why, because some of their products are the best. So why am I not using them just to be fair to other products when I really do prefer them? So this, I'm just gonna segue, has a really, really teensy weensy fine tip. It's really easy to get a nice line really close to your lash line. So hopefully I can do this without really screwing this eye look up. I'm gonna do this away from you guys. I feel like it's less pressure, and then I'll come back. For once in my life, I feel like I should have filmed that for you guys because I don't think I've ever put on a super thin line of eyeliner any better than that. I'm gonna get close so you guys can see. Do you see how thin that line is? But it's almost, okay, don't look at this eye. This eye I can see that I kind of went blah, blah, blah. But it's so thin that like it's almost barely there, but it just gives that little more shape to your eye. I'm so happy I was able to do that. And for a mascara today, really quickly, I'm gonna curl my eyelashes while I'm chatting with you. We're actually gonna be using the NYX Doll Eye Mascara. This is a volumizing mascara. Now, in a recent BoxyCharm video, which should also be on here, I just learned about this new, it's not new, it's been around for a while, but it's new to me. I just learned about tubing mascara and I tried it, and spoiler alert for my next BoxyCharm, I am obsessed with it. It is such a good mascara. It is just so beautiful. It's completely changed the way that I look at doing my lashes now. And I Googled other tubing mascaras. Come to find out, I already freaking own one because apparently this is one, but I can't recall it being as such. So I thought we would try it again. I did just curl my lashes really, really quickly. I don't love the wand on this as much as I loved it on the other one, the newer one. But I guess the difference is tubing mascaras are made of like a polymer that rather than just stick to your lashes, it actually forms a tube and a coating around your lashes with like the tube being hollow and your lash being inserted inside of it. So it doesn't flake, it doesn't move, it doesn't clump, and it's waterproof, so it just sits there for a really nice long time. Is it super volumizing? No, not particularly, so I definitely have more volumizing mascaras, but it does the trick. So the last thing we've got to do, let's just set this puppy. I'm just using some Cover FX Dewy Finish setting spray because I'm trying to use it up. Yes, that feels, oh. Alrighty guys, so that is it. First impressions of this eyeshadow palette, really, really digging it. Is it going to be for everybody? No, it is just a neutral eyeshadow palette. It is like a lot of other neutral eyeshadow palettes. However, if you are looking to try Melt Cosmetics and some of the more fun, colorful ones scare you a little bit, this is a great place to start just to try out the formula, see how amazing it is. I think that this is a really, really pretty look. I would be happy to wear this day to day or a night out. Maybe I would have carried it a little higher, a little bit more drama, or if you are any good at it and you want to try this look, maybe wing your eyeliner. I can't do it, it looks stupid on me, but maybe do a thicker line, something like that. Put on a pair of false lashes, take off your plaid shirt and your ponytail out, and you've got a beautiful night on the town kind of a look. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this palette. I think it's fantastic. I'm so excited to have it and to get to play with it, and I do really, really recommend it to you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.